Stop. Stop whatever you were doing before this. Do not move past these first words until you have heard what I am about to say, because this message is not a message for a quiet, ordinary afternoon. This is urgent, and I do not say that to create panic. I say it because there is something happening in your life right now, a window, a moment, a threshold that has been open far longer than it should have been, sitting there and waiting for you to step through it. The fact that you are here, right now, choosing this over everything else you could be giving your attention to, tells me something about you, something important. You did not just stumble across this. A force greater than habit, greater than coincidence, more ancient and more precise than anything the modern world can explain, placed this in front of you at the exact second you needed it most. You are not early. You are not on time. You are, by every measure of what is unfolding in your spirit right now, already late. But late is not the same as lost. Late is not the same as finished. And what I am about to tell you will change how you understand every delay, every setback, every season that felt like it was going to swallow you whole. And right here, before we go any further, I hear something being spoken over you. I hear the Spirit saying, I did not bring you this far to leave you here. The emergency you are feeling, that urgency pressing against your chest, that is not yours to carry alone. It never was. Now I want to ask something of you before we go deeper. If there is noise around you, silence it. Not because this requires perfect conditions, but because what I am about to walk you through deserves your full attention. Let your body settle wherever you are, and if someone else is nearby, this is not for them right now. This is for you. What you receive from this message will be proportional to how fully you receive it. Before I take you into the heart of this, let me tell you what you will walk away with if you stay until the end. 3 things are going to shift. The first is how you see your delay, and why it is not what you think it is. The second is why you have felt turned off, disconnected, like something in you stopped working the way it used to. And there is a specific reason for that, one that most people never get told. And the third, the one that I believe will stay with you long after this ends, is who you actually are, and what this emergency has really been announcing all along. Stay for all 3, because the third one is the reason this reached you today. Now let me tell you the first thing. There is a feeling that belongs to a specific kind of person in a specific kind of season, and I think you know this feeling. It is not quite sadness. It is not quite fear. It is something quieter and heavier than both. It is the feeling of waking up and knowing, somewhere below conscious thought, that you are living at a fraction of what you were made for. It shows up differently for different people. For some, it is a fatigue that sleep does not fix. You rest, and you wake up tired in a way that goes beyond the body, tired in the bones, tired in the spirit. The kind of tired that comes from carrying something for a very long time without being able to set it down. For others, it is a restlessness with no clear object. You are not sure what needs to change. You just know that something does. You move through your days, and none of it reaches the part of you that actually needs to be reached. You are surrounded by people, and still somehow unreachable. And then there is the changed tolerance. The things that used to be fine are not fine anymore. The environments that once felt normal now feel suffocating. The conversations that you used to participate in now drain you in a way you cannot explain to the people who are still comfortable in them. You have outgrown something, but you have not yet arrived at what comes next. And that space in between, that is where you are living right now. I want to say something about that space, because most people will tell you to be patient in it, that the right season is coming, and that is true. But what nobody tells you is what that space is actually doing. It is not empty. It only looks empty from the inside. Think of a seed. that has been planted underground. From the surface, nothing is happening. There is no evidence of becoming. But underground, something is breaking open, something is reaching, something is driving downward into the dark, so that one day it can rise above it. The seed has no way of seeing its own becoming. It can only do the work of becoming. That is you, right now, in this season. Now here is the first thing I want to show you, and it begins with a question most people never think to ask. When you say you are late, what clock are you measuring yourself against? Because there are two kinds of time. The first is the kind your phone tracks, the kind that moves in seconds and minutes and years, the kind that birthdays measure and calendars record. The ancient Greeks called this chronos, clock time, sequential, predictable, indifferent to meaning. But there is a second kind of time. They called it kairos. And kairos does not move like a clock. Kairos is appointed time. It is the moment that was carved out, specifically, for a specific thing to happen. It is not measured in quantity. It is measured in readiness, in the convergence of preparation and possibility. Chronos says, you are behind. Chronos has been looking at your age and your circumstances and your life, and it has been running comparisons that were never meant to define you. But you were not built for Chronos. You were built for Kairos. And here is why that matters. Because the person assigned to a heavy calling does not get a short preparation. The depth of the preparation is proportional to the weight of the assignment. And the fact that you have been in this season as long as you have tells me something. Not that you are forgotten. Not that you missed it. It tells me that what is coming is heavier than what most people are being built for. There was a man named Joseph, 17 years old, when he received a vision so large it made the people around him deeply uncomfortable. Not because the vision was wrong, because it was too real. And the people who could not carry what he was carrying did the only thing they knew how to do. They put him in a pit. Then they sold him. Then he was falsely accused. Then he sat in prison. 13 years between the dream and the throne. 13 years of a life that looked from every visible angle like total failure. But Joseph in year 12 of 13 was not failing. He was being finished. The ability to stand before a king and speak with authority, the emotional steadiness to forgive the brothers who betrayed him, the wisdom to manage not just a household, but an entire nation. None of those were gifts he was born with in full. They were gifts that were formed in the pit, in the prison, in the years that looked from the outside like abandonment. What are you being formed for in this season? Not just what do you want on the other side of it. What is being built in you right now that could only be built this way? And now I want to say something I need you to hold carefully. Because what I have shared with you is only the surface. There is something underneath it, something more specific about why you feel the way you feel, something that connects the spiritual reality of your season to what is happening inside your mind right now. And it is going to make everything I just said land in a completely different way. There is a scientific reason you feel turned off. And when you hear it, you will understand yourself in a way that nothing else has allowed you to before. Stay with me. Let me take you somewhere most people have never been taken in a message like this. There is a reason you feel the way you feel, not a general spiritual reason, a specific one, a measurable one, and it begins with something that happened to you when you were a child, when you were very young, before school, before the world started teaching you its rules. Your brain was operating in a state that scientists have spent decades trying to understand and replicate. A frequency called gamma. And gamma is not just any brainwave. Researchers at MIT, Princeton, Harvard, and several other leading universities have studied what gamma does to a mind when it is fully active. The results are extraordinary. In full gamma, learning is effortless. Intuition is sharp. Connections appear between things that other people cannot see. problems resolve in ways that seem, from the outside, almost magical. There is a sense of being in the right place at the right time, of things falling into alignment, of a flow that you do not have to force. You felt this when you were young. Even if you cannot name it precisely, you remember it. The time when ideas came easily, when you believed without being taught to doubt, when you woke up and the day felt like a possibility rather than an obstacle. That was Gamma. That was your brain in its original, God-given state. And then something happened, slowly, over years, without anyone intending it. Neuroscientists call it the decline effect. Beginning around age 7, the structure of formal education, the chronic low-grade stress of growing up, the noise, the pressure to conform, the constant demand to be quiet and stop asking enormous questions, all of it begins to suppress Gamma. Not all at once, quietly, systematically, year by year. By the time most people reach adulthood, the Gamma that once made their mind feel electric has been reduced to a fraction of what it was, and what fills the space is survival frequency, stress frequency, the kind of brainwave state that is very good at managing immediate threats and very poor at receiving insight, intuition, or anything that requires deep receptivity. Now, here is the part I need you to really hear, because this is where your story connects to this science in a way that is not generic. It is specific to you. The ones who came into this world with the highest baseline Gamma, the ones wired from birth to feel more deeply, to perceive more sharply, to carry more sensitivity than the people around them, those are the ones who feel the loss most profoundly. You have probably always sensed that you were built for something larger. Even as a child, you understood things you were not taught. You felt things other people did not seem to feel. You had a knowing that was hard to explain and even harder to make people understand. That was not imagination. That was not ego. That was a Gamma active mind doing exactly what it was designed to do. And when the decline effect suppressed that in you, it did not suppress it the same way. It suppressed it in everyone else. Because you had more to lose. The gap between who you were in that early state and who the world shaped you to become, that gap is enormous. And you have been feeling the size of that gap your entire adult life, even if you did not have words for it until now. The spiritual dryness. The prayers that feel like they hit something and stop. The sense of being cut off from your own knowing. The inability to access the intuition that used to come naturally. The feeling of being slower than you should be, of watching clarity come easily to other people while you reach for it and cannot quite close your hand around it. That is not weakness. That is what a high Gamma mind feels like when its Gamma has been suppressed. Now I want to take you one level deeper, because there is something I need to show you before we move forward, and it is about the word for this moment in the original language. In Ecclesiastes chapter 3, there is a line most people have heard in pieces. To everything there is a season, and a time for every purpose under heaven. Most people read that as general comfort, as a reassurance that things change. But the word used in the original Hebrew is not just any word for time. The word is eth, and in Hebrew, eth does not mean our time. It means the time, the appointed moment, the one that was carved out specifically for this specific thing, not interchangeable, not transferable, not capable of being missed by the person it was written for. Think of what that means. An eth is like a lock that was made for one key. Only one key opens it, and that lock has been sitting there, sealed, holding what it holds, waiting for the moment the right key walks through the door. Your eth has not passed. An eth does not expire for the person it was assigned to. It sits, it holds, it waits, with the patience of the one who set it. And this season you are in, this long, heavy, underground season, is not evidence that your moment passed. It is evidence that your moment requires everything you have become in this process to receive it fully. Now, I want to be honest with you about something, because honesty is what makes this different from a message that just tells you what you want to hear. You can understand your kairos. You can believe in your eth. You can carry every truth I have shared in this message and still operate from a brain that is running in survival frequency, because insight, without the neurological capacity to receive it fully, is like trying to pick up a signal with a broken receiver. You can point the antenna in the right direction, but if the receiver is suppressed, the signal does not come through the way it was sent. A neuroscientist named Dr. Robert Lake spent 34 years studying exactly this problem. He discovered that brain entrainment technology, a precise audio frequency engineered to guide the brain back toward active gamma, could accomplish in 7 minutes what years of effort could not. Not through meditation, not through any technique that requires practice or discipline or waking up at 4 in the morning, simply by listening with headphones in whatever position you are already in. He compressed that entire technology into a single audio track, 7 minutes, and he called it the Genius Song. I am not introducing this to you as a product. I am introducing it to you as the practical counterpart to everything I have just taught, because what we have established is that your gamma is not gone, it is suppressed. The capacity you had as a child, the effortless perception, the sharp intuition, the sense of alignment, it is still in you. The decline effect does not destroy, it dims. And what Dr. Lake's research demonstrated is that a suppressed gamma is a gamma waiting to be reactivated, not rebuilt from scratch. Reactivated. Now, here is how the mathematics of this look in practical terms. A single session of biofeedback therapy to begin addressing brainwave suppression costs around $300. Clinical-grade equipment to attempt this at home runs close to $7,000. And traditional meditation, which approaches this naturally but indirectly, requires months and years of consistent practice before you feel measurable change. Dr. Lake took the core technology behind all of that and put it into a 7-minute audio file. The original price of the Genius Song is $49, already a fraction of any traditional alternative. But because this message exists to reach the people who actually need this, not to generate revenue, the price for anyone coming through this specific message is $39. That price does not exist on any marketplace. It does not exist in any store. It is only available through the link in the pinned comment below this video. And when you go there, you are not just getting the 7-minute track. You receive 4 additional resources at no cost. The first is Genius Child, an audio track designed to help children reactivate focus and natural confidence. The second is the foundational book that the film The Secret was built on, available separately for $20, included here at no cost. The third is a guided visualization for the 4 areas of life where gamma reactivation makes the most immediate difference: finances, relationships, health, and purpose. And the fourth is an infographic of the 5 most critical daily habits for sustaining what the Genius Song activates, something you can return to every morning. Everything is backed by a full money-back guarantee, with no conditions and no limitations on how many times you can listen before requesting a refund. Now I need to say something to you directly, and I need you to hear it as care. There are copies of this online, recordings that use the name but do not carry the technology. They sound similar, but they do not contain the entrainment frequency that makes the difference. They are ordinary audio, and if you find the Genius Song anywhere other than the link in the pinned comment below this video, what you are holding is not the real thing. Not on any music platform, not through any general search. The only version with the full entrainment technology, the 4 bonuses, and the money-back guarantee is through that pinned link. If something in you recognized itself in what I described, if the gamma suppression, the spiritual dryness, the gap between who you were as a child and who you have felt like since, if any of that landed as true, I am not asking you to purchase anything. I am asking you to investigate. Go to the pinned comment, look into it, and only move forward if something in you genuinely feels the pull to do so. This is a tool, a powerful one, a scientifically grounded one. But it works alongside the truth this message is building, not instead of it. Take a breath, let that settle, because what I am about to take you into next is something I have been building toward since the very first word of this message. The third revelation, the one that takes everything we have just covered and lifts it to a completely different elevation. The one that changes not just how you see your delay, but who you understand yourself to be in the middle of it. Stay with me. What comes next is the reason this reached you today. I want to tell you about someone before we go further. I am not going to use a name. Names are not what matter here. What matters is the pattern, because the pattern belongs to more people than just one. This person had been carrying a knowing for 9 years, not a vague sense of something, a specific knowing, a direction, a pull towards something that felt undeniably real. They pursued it in pieces, retreated in fear, pursued it again, retreated again. And by year 8, they had largely convinced themselves that the window must have closed, that people like them, who had taken this long, who had stumbled this many times, must not be the kind of person the calling was actually meant for. In year 9, they made a decision that felt at the time like surrender, but turned out to be the most strategic thing they had ever done. They stopped chasing it, not because they gave up, because something in them finally understood that running toward what needs to arrive does not make it arrive faster. They pulled back from the noise. They protected their energy fiercely. They stopped explaining themselves to people who could not understand the season they were in. 90 days of that. Just stillness and faithfulness in small things. In month 9, week 3, 2 doors opened. Not the one they had been reaching toward. 2 entirely different doors, both of which led to the same place the original knowing had always pointed, except from a position and with a capacity they could not have held 9 years earlier. They did not arrive early. They arrived ready. And readiness, that slow, invisible, underground work, that was the whole assignment all along. Now, let me take you to the third revelation. And this is the one that changes everything. Because we have talked about the Chronos clock that has been measuring you against a timeline that was never yours. We have talked about what happens when your gamma is suppressed, and why the people built for the heaviest assignments feel the gap most acutely. But there is one more thing, one more layer, and this one does not just explain your season, it names it. The emergency you felt when you saw this title today was real. That urgency was real. That pull in your chest, that quickening, that sense that something is pressing against you from the inside, it is real, and it is not an accident. But here is what I want you to understand. An emergency does not only mean a crisis. There is another kind of emergency, one that is not a warning, one that is a summons. When a king sends a summons to one of his people, it arrives with urgency. It does not say, please come when you have time. It says, come, now, because there is something waiting for you that cannot wait any longer. Not because you are in trouble, because your moment has arrived, and the king wants you present for it. That is the emergency you have been feeling. That is the pressing. That is the urgency that has no clear object, that you have been misreading as anxiety, as lateness, as failure. It is not any of those things. It is a summons. Moses spent 40 years in the wilderness, 40 years after walking away from the palace, away from position, away from everything that would have given his life the appearance of purpose. And from the outside, those 40 years looked exactly like nothing, like a man who had lost his way and kept walking in circles until the circles became his life. And then, one ordinary afternoon, he turned, and there was a burning bush. And the voice that came from it did not say, "Moses, you wasted 40 years." The voice said, "Moses, take off your shoes. This is holy ground, and I have a mission for you." The wilderness was not the punishment. The wilderness was the preparation for a man who was going to stand before the most powerful ruler in the world and say, "Let my people go." You cannot develop that kind of authority in a palace. You can only develop it in the wilderness, where the only voice you learn to trust is the one that does not need position to speak. And David, anointed at 17, crowned at 30, 13 years between the promise and the throne. And in those 13 years, while Saul was sitting in the seat that David had already been called to fill, David was out in the fields writing music that nobody was asking for, fighting lions and bears that nobody but him ever knew he fought, carrying the weight of a calling he had no public evidence of yet. What David was building in those hidden years was not resume. It was character deep enough to hold a kingdom without breaking under it. And when he finally sat on the throne, he sat on it as a man who had been king on the inside long before anyone called him one on the outside. What are you building right now that no one can see yet? Because here is what I know about the person who has been in a long season, the two internal enemies that come with it. They are not external obstacles, they are inside. And they are the things most likely to make you prematurely end a preparation that is closer to completion than it looks. The first one is impatience, not the obvious kind where you are restless and fidgety, the quiet, dangerous kind, the kind that makes you reach for outcomes you are not yet positioned to carry, the kind that says, "I have waited long enough, I will just make something happen," and then moves faster than the readiness can support. Joseph did not get himself out of prison. The moment he tried to rush his own release, through the cupbearer who forgot him, nothing happened. The release came when the king needed something that only Joseph could provide. Joseph's job was not to escape. Joseph's job was to be ready when the door opened from the other side. The second enemy is doubt. Not the kind you can argue yourself out of with a verse. The slow, eroding kind. The one that whispers at 3 in the morning, "What if I actually did miss it? What if it really was for someone else? What if the people who said I was too much, too slow, too broken, what if they were right?" That voice is not wisdom. That voice is